Japanese farmers figured out something 1,000 years ago that most of us have completely forgotten, that the plants growing right outside your door, the ones you walk past every single day, are some of the most powerful medicines on earth. And I'm not talking about expensive supplements or exotic imports. I'm talking about plants you can grow in a pot on your back porch for almost nothing. Plants that Edo-period farmers kept in their kitchen gardens, that monks carried across the ocean, that grandmothers in mountain villages used to keep entire families healthy through brutal winters without a single pharmacy in sight. Today, I'm going to show you 10 Japanese healing plants that will completely change the way you think about your garden forever. Stick around because number 6 on this list is a plant the Japanese literally named 10 medicines, and it costs almost nothing to grow. But the way you use it will blow your mind. And number 10 is so ancient, so completely accessible, that by the end of this video, you're going to wonder why you don't already have one in your yard. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because we post practical old world growing knowledge every week that'll save you money and help you take back control of your own health. So let's get into it. Number 1, shiso. I want to start here because this is probably the most underrated plant in the entire Japanese tradition, and almost nobody in the West grows it. Japanese farmers have been cultivating shiso for over 1,000 years. It shows up in 8th century texts. It appears in kampo formulas for colds and allergies, and in every sushi restaurant you've ever been to, the little purple-green leaf tucked next to the fish isn't decoration. That's medicine. Edo-period cooks knew that shiso suppresses bacterial growth on raw fish. They weren't just making the plate pretty, they were doing food safety the smart way. There are 2 kinds worth knowing. Green shiso, mild, slightly anise-like, is the one you see on sushi plates. Red shiso, the ekajiso, is more bitter, more medicinal, and it's what turns umeboshi plums their famous pink. Traditional kampo uses shiso for respiratory issues, allergies, and digestive discomfort. The compounds in the leaves have confirmed anti-allergic and anti-inflammatory properties. This is exactly what old Japanese healers were counting on without ever knowing the chemistry. Here's how I use it. Steep 5 or 6 fresh leaves in near boiling water for 4 minutes and you have shiso tea. For the summer health drink, Japanese families have made for generations. Boil 3 ounces of red leaves in 6 cups of water for 10 minutes. Strain it, dissolve in some honey, squeeze in half a lemon, and watch it turn this impossible bright ruby red. For direct skin use, insect bites, minor irritation, crush a fresh leaf and apply the juice. It works immediately. Growing it is almost embarrassingly easy. Soak seeds overnight, sow a 1/4 inch deep in fertile, well-drained soil after last frost. Full sun, pH between 5.5 and 6.5. It does beautifully in any container at least 6 inches deep. Pinch the tips for bushy growth. Remove the flowers before they open if you don't want it self-seeding everywhere. And it will self-seed everywhere if you let it. Number 2, ginger. In traditional kampo medicine, ginger appears in 51 of the 128 standard formulas. The only herb that shows up more is licorice. That's not a coincidence. Japanese herbalists distinguished between fresh ginger, used for nausea and warming the digestion at the onset of a cold, and steamed dried ginger, which works deeper, treating cold extremities and what they called interior cold. Same plant, 2 different medicines depending on how you process it. That kind of nuance took generations to work out. The preparation I come back to again and again is shogayu, the Japanese ginger tea. 1 teaspoon of freshly grated ginger, not powder, freshly grated, in 1 cup of water, brought to a boil and simmered 2 minutes. Add a tablespoon of honey. Drink it when you feel a cold coming on and go to bed. I've done this for years and it works better than anything I've bought at a drugstore. For sore muscles or lower back pain, the ginger compress is one of the best things I know. Grate 4 ounces of fresh ginger, wrap in cheesecloth, steep in hot water just below a simmer. Dip a cotton cloth, press against the sore area. Replace every 2 minutes for 5 rounds. The skin turns pink. Japanese farmers use this daily. Plant ginger rhizomes in spring once nighttime temperatures hold above 55 degrees. Buds up 1 to 2 inches deep. Partial shade. Wide, shallow containers work well because the rhizomes spread horizontally. Keep consistently moist. Mulch heavily. Harvest after 8 to 10 months when the foliage yellows. Number 3, yomogi. Write this one down. Yomogi is Japanese mugwort, and it has been at the center of Japanese healing culture since at least the 8th century. The chronicles from 720 AD record Empress Suiko designating an entire month for gathering it, a practice called kuzurigiri, collecting medicinal herbs. On Children's Day, families still bundle yomogi under their eaves to protect the household. It's used in moxibustion therapy, in festival rice cakes, and women's herbal teas. This plant is woven into the fabric of Japanese daily life, and almost nobody outside Japan grows it. Yomogi tea for menstrual comfort, digestive support, and respiratory health has been drunk by Japanese women for over 1,000 years. Make it simply 1 heaping teaspoon of dried leaves per cup of water just off the boil. Steep 3 to 4 minutes. Any longer and it turns bitter. For a bath infusion, genuinely wonderful for sore muscles, stuff 2 ounces of dried yomogi into a cloth bag. Drop it in a hot bath. Soak 20 minutes. The Japanese have been doing yomogi buro, the yomogi bath, for centuries, growing it, sow seeds, on the soil surface in spring. They need light, don't bury them. Space 12 to 18 inches apart. Full sun to partial shade. Lean soil actually intensifies the medicinal oils. Hardy in zones 3 through 10, but grow it in a container. A 12 to 18 inch pot, no exceptions, in the ground. It spreads by underground rhizomes and will colonize your entire garden in 2 seasons. I made that mistake once. Pot it, and it produces abundantly. Number 4, green tea. In 1191, a Japanese monk named Eisai returned from China carrying tea seeds that would reshape Japanese civilization. He planted them in Kyushu, wrote the first medical text on tea in Japanese history, and declared it the most wonderful medicine for nourishing health. 800 years later, his monk's daily drink is the most studied plant compound in nutrition science. What I love about the Japanese approach is the nuance. They didn't just drink tea, they developed a whole spectrum: sencha for everyday health, matcha where you consume the entire ground leaf, bancha for low caffeine, hojicha roasted for digestive support. Each one suited to a different purpose and time of day. For the highest medicinal value, 5 grams, 1 heaping teaspoon per 150 milliliters of water at 75 degrees Celsius. Not boiling, never boiling. Steep 90 seconds to 2 minutes. The temperature matters more than most people realize. Boiling water destroys the compounds that create calm, focused energy. The combination that made this the monk's drink for meditation for 8 centuries. Camellia sinensis thrives outdoors in zones 7 through 9 and in containers anywhere. Acidic soil is non-negotiable. pH 4.5 to 6.5, the same mix you'd use for azaleas. Partial shade preferred. Takes about 3 years to first harvest, but lives for 30 to 50 years. You're planting for your grandchildren. Harvest the top 2 leaves and the bud in April. Steam immediately to halt oxidation. Roll while warm. Air dry in shade. That's how Japanese farmers have made green tea for centuries. Number 5, wasabi. Most of what you've eaten as wasabi in your life was horseradish with green food coloring. Real wasabi, Eutrema japonicum, is completely different, and here's what most people don't know. The Japanese weren't originally using it as a condiment. They were using it as medicine. The oldest encyclopedia of Japanese medicinal plants, written in 918 AD, records wasabi as a health remedy. When Edo-period sushi bars paired it with raw fish, they were making a deliberate choice. The compounds in real wasabi are powerfully antimicrobial, inhibiting bacteria and mold in ways that made raw fish genuinely safer. Centuries before refrigeration. Or that's ancient food science. Growing wasabi is the trickiest plant on this list. Ideal temperature, 50 to 60 degrees. Above 80, it dies. Full shade, high humidity, consistent moisture without waterlogging. Add 30% perlite to your potting mix. It takes 18 to 24 months to grow a harvestable rhizome. I know, it's a commitment, but every part is edible while you wait. The leaves taste like spicy mustard greens, excellent pickled in soy sauce and mirin for 24 hours. You don't have to wait 2 years to start using the plant. Now, if you're finding this valuable and starting to realize how much has been hiding in plain sight, do me a huge favor. Hit that like button right now. It helps this reach people who are tired of overcomplicating something as ancient as growing your own medicine. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click that button and ring the bell. We're building a community of people who believe that simplicity and working with nature will always beat expensive complexity. All right, let's keep going, because we're just getting to the truly remarkable ones. Number 6, dokudami. The name means poison stopper. Its other name, juyaku, means 10 medicines. As in, this one plant does the work of 10. The Edo-period naturalist Kabara Ekiken wrote in 1708 that dokudami has medicinal actions as 10 herbs can give. It appears in the Japanese pharmacopoeia. It has about 160 regional names across Japan. Geisha in Kyoto still brew it as an autumn health drink. That's how deep this plant runs. Our fresh dokudami smells intensely fishy. I know that sounds off-putting, but that smell mostly disappears when it's dried. Dried dokudami tea is mild, almost pleasant. For everyday drinking, 2 heaping tablespoons of dried leaves per 4 cups of near boiling water. Brew 3 minutes, strain. The traditional Senjiru method is stronger. Same amount. Start in cold water, bring to a rolling boil, reduce to a simmer for 10 minutes. Rest 10 minutes, strain. Japanese women have used this as a daily detox tea for generations. A fresh crushed leaf applied directly to a burn, wound, or insect bite is one of the fastest folk remedies I've ever used. The juice is genuinely antibacterial. Whole plant soaked in shochu for a month makes a tincture that diluted with water serves as an insect repellent that actually works. Growing it is the opposite problem from wasabi. Zones 5 through 11, shade to full sun, wet soil. It doesn't need your help. It needs containment. A 12-inch pot kept separate from everything else. Harvest during flowering in June and July when medicinal compounds peak. Dry in shade, not sunlight. Number 7, gobo, burdock. Japan is the world's largest consumer of burdock root as food, not as medicine, as a regular vegetable on the dinner table. That is a fact that genuinely surprises people. The Takinagawa variety, developed in Edo-period Tokyo, became the ancestor of over 90% of all gobo grown today. The dish kinpira gobo, burdock, and carrots in sesame oil with soy sauce and mirin has been a staple of Japanese home cooking for centuries, and in New Year osechi boxes. A gobo represents longevity because its roots anchor so deeply in the earth. Burdock tea, gobo cha, has been drunk for generations as a liver and blood purifier. Make it this way. Wash the root with a brush, do not peel it. The skin has most of the beneficial compounds. Shave into thin strips, sun-dry 4 to 6 hours, then dry roast in a pan over medium heat for 10 minutes until golden. 1 tablespoon per cup, steep 3 minutes. Earthy, slightly sweet, genuinely good. Growing burdock requires one thing above all. Deep soil preparation. Roots go 3 feet down. Work your soil at least 18 to 24 inches deep. Sandy loam with organic matter so roots don't fork. Direct sow 1/2 inch deep in spring, thin to 6 to 12 inches apart. Full sun. Harvest in fall of year 1 before the flower stalk appears. About 90 to 120 days from planting. Number 8, ashitaba. Ashitaba means tomorrow's leaf. Harvest today, new growth appears tomorrow. This plant comes from Hachijojima, a volcanic island south of Tokyo, known for centuries as the Island of Longevity. A text from 1797 records exiled samurai there, men receiving barely enough rice to survive, who nonetheless maintained extraordinary strength, eating ashitaba daily. Kabara Ekiken called it a powerful tonic drug. The yellow sap from a cut stem was used in the Edo period to treat skin infections and wounds. For tea, 1 teaspoon crushed dried leaves per cup of boiling water. Steep 5 to 10 minutes. The flavor is mild, slightly celery-like, caffeine-free. The young leaves are excellent raw in salads, in tempura, stirred into miso soup. On the island, they make ashitaba noodles, ashitaba ice cream. It is a food and a medicine with equal claim to both. Growing, zones 7 through 10. Outdoors, containers anywhere. Full sun in cool climates, afternoon shade in hot ones. Rich, well-drained soil. Seeds need 30 days of cold stratification in the refrigerator before planting. It's biennial, leafy in year 1, flowers in year 2. Let some go to seed for continuity. Always harvest outer leaves, never more than a third at once. Number 9. Chrysanthemum. The chrysanthemum is the seal of the Japanese emperor. It's on the passport and the 50-yen coin. The imperial dynasty itself is called the chrysanthemum throne. And in Japan, it has been drunk as medicine since 685 AD, when the imperial court designated the 9th day of the 9th month as Chrysanthemum Day, a sacred health festival that has run for over 1,300 years. The traditional primary use is eye health. Chrysanthemum tea for tired, red, or blurry eyes. For headaches, for calming the nervous system at the end of a hard day. Japanese and Chinese healers connected it to the liver meridian and the eyes for centuries, prescribing it for eye strain long before anyone stared at a screen. Brew it simply. 8 to 10 dried flowers per cup of water at 90 degrees, not boiling, which damages the delicate flavonoids. Steep 4 to 5 minutes. Add rock sugar or dried goji berries. Sweet, floral, genuinely calming. For a headache, steep 10 minutes and drink 2 cups. Grow from cuttings or divisions. It doesn't set viable seed. Take 3-inch tip cuttings in late spring. Root in moist potting mix. Full sun, well-drained soil. Zones 5 through 9. Harvest flowers when just fully open. Dry on screens in shade. Before the final plant, I want to be honest about a few patterns I see all the time. The first pattern is buying dried herbs at $12 a jar. When shiso, yamogi, and dokudami grow so prolifically, you'll have more than you can use from a single plant in the first season. 1 plant. That's all it takes. The second pattern is treating these as supplements rather than weaving them into daily cooking and tea. Japanese tradition doesn't separate food and medicine. Ishoku Dogen, food and medicine from the same source, is the philosophy that built some of the longest-lived communities in history. The third pattern is expecting fast results from plants that have been working slowly and surely for 1,000 years. Edo-period farmers didn't think of these as emergency treatments. They thought of them as maintenance. That shift in mindset changes everything. And here we are at number 10, the one I saved for last because it represents everything we've talked about today. The green tea plant. I know, you've heard of it, everybody has, and that's exactly my point. In 1211, the monk Aisai wrote that the countries where tea is drunk are those with long-lived, healthy people, and those where it is not are full of sick people. Whether you take that literally or not, it tells you something. An educated, respected healer in medieval Japan regarded this plant not as a beverage, but as the foundation of daily health. What I want you to sit with for a moment is this. We started this video talking about plants that Edo-period farmers grew right outside their doors, and the plant I saved for last, the one that closes the whole loop, is something you have probably already had in your kitchen. Maybe it's in your cabinet right now. I have a tea plant in a container on my back porch. It's 5 years old. Every spring I harvest the first flush, ichibansha, the first tea of the year, and process it myself. Honestly, I do it badly. The rolling is uneven. The drying is imperfect. It looks nothing like what you'd find at a proper tea house. But I made it. From a plant I grew, from a tradition that stretches back to monks crossing oceans with seeds in their robes, because they believed this plant mattered enough to carry. But grow it in a pot with acidic soil, pH 4.5 to 6. Protect it from afternoon sun. Harvest the top 2 leaves and the bud in April. Steam them to stop oxidation. Roll them gently while still warm. Dry them in the shade. Brew them at 75 degrees for 2 minutes and drink it in the morning the way Japanese farmers have for 800 years. That's the whole point of everything we talked about today. Not that these plants are magic, not that they replace a doctor, but that somewhere along the way we were handed 1,000 years of accumulated observation about what plants do for the human body. And most of us set it down without really looking at it. Japanese farmers and monks and grandmothers weren't guessing. They were paying attention across generations, and what they figured out is still right there. I'm available to anyone willing to put a few plants in a pot. Start with one. Shiso, ginger, yomogi in a container. Grow it for a full season. Make the tea. Use it the way it was meant to be used. One season will tell you more about this tradition than anything I could say in a video. If you learned something today, hit that like button. It genuinely helps other growers find this. Drop a comment below. Are you Team Shiso, Team Ginger, or Team Dokudami? And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button and ring the bell so you never miss a video. There are people out there still growing their own medicine, still trusting the plants their grandparents trusted, and every one of them started exactly where you are right now.